Hello everyone. Today we have lecture number 8, the articulatory classification of English consonants. There are two major classes of sounds traditionally distinguished in any language: consonants and vowels. The opposition vowels versus consonants is a linguistic universal. The distinction is based mainly on auditory effect. So consonants are known to have voice and a noise combined, while vowels are sounds consisting of voice only. From the articulatory point of view, the difference is due to the word of speech organs. In case of vowels, no abstraction is made. So on the perception level, the integral characteristic is tone, not noise. In case of consonants, various abstractions are made. So consonants are characterized by a complete, partial or intermittent blockage of the air passage. The closure is formed in such a way that the air stream is blocked or hindered or otherwise gives rise to audible friction. As a result, consonants are sounds which have noise as their indispensable characteristic. Russian phoneticians classify consonants according to the following principles. The first is the degree of noise, the second is the place of articulation, the third is manner of articulation, fourth is the position of the soft palate, and the last is the force of articulation. There are few ways of seeing the situation concerning the classification of English consonants. According to Vasilyev, primary importance should be given to the type of abstraction and the manner of production noise. On this ground, he distinguishes two large classes: occlusive, in the production of which a complete abstraction is formed, and constrictive, in the production of which an incomplete abstraction is formed. Each of two classes is subdivided into noise consonants and sonorants. Another point of view is shared by a group of Russian phoneticians. They suggest that the first and basic principle of classification should be the degree of noise. Such consideration leads to dividing English consonants into two general kinds: noise consonants and sonorants. The term degree of noise belongs to auditory level of analysis, but there is an intrinsic connection between articulatory and auditory aspect of describing speech sounds. In this case, the term of auditory aspect defines the characteristic more adequately. So sonorants are sounds that differ greatly from other consonants. This is due to the fact that their production of the air passage between the two organs of speech is fairly weak, fairly wide. That is much wider than in the production of noise consonants. As a result, the auditory effect is tone, not noise. This peculiarity of articulation makes sonorants sound more like vowels than consonants. Acoustically, sonorants are opposed to all other consonants because they are characterized by sharply defined form and structure, and the total energy of most of them is very high. There are no sonorants in the classification suggested by British and American scholars. Daniel Jones and Henry Gleason, for example, give separate groups of nasals like the lateral and semivowels or glides like w, r, y. Bernard Bloch and George Traeger, besides nasals and lateral give trilled r. According to Russian phoneticians, sonorants are considered to be consonants from articulatory, acoustic, and phonological point of view. The place of articulation. This principle of consonants classification is rather universal. The only difference is that Vasilyev, Tarsuev, Tikushina, Gimson give more detailed and precise enumerations of active organs of speech than Gleason, Bloch, Traeger, and others. There is, however, controversy about terming the active organs of speech. Thus, Russian phoneticians divide the tongue into the following parts. The first is front with the tip, middle, and back. On this figure, you may see places of articulation. The first sounds are bilabial, then labiodental, dental, alveolar, post-alveolar, velar, palatal, and glottal. Following Sherber's terminology, the front part of the tongue is subdivided into apical, dorsal, cacuminal, and retroflex, according to the position of the tip and the blade of the tongue in relation to the teeth ridge. Gibson's terms differ from those used by Russian phoneticians. Apical is equivalent to forelingual. Frontal is equivalent to mediolingual. Dorsum is the whole upper area of the tongue. Henry Gleason's terms is respect to the bulk of the tongue. Our apex, the part of the tongue that lies at the rest opposite the alveoli. Front, the part of the tongue that lies at the rest opposite of fore part of the palate. And back, or dorsum, the part of the tongue that lies at the rest opposite the velum or the back part of the palate. Traktirov, Torsuyev, Vasiliev, and other Russian scholars consider the principle of classification according to the manner of articulation to be one of the most important, and classify consonants very accurately, logically, and thoroughly. They suggest a classification from the point of view of the closure. It may be complete closure, then occlusive stop-occlusive consonants are produced, incomplete closure, then constrictive consonants are produced, and the combination of the two closures, then occlusive constrictive consonants or affricates are produced. Intermittent closure, then rolled or trilled consonants are produced. So in this figure, you may see the classification of labial, dorsal, apical, laminal, and stops, nasals, or laterals. This is the end of lecture 8. Thank you for your attention.